Can we all just agree that Squawkabilly is not a real Pokemon? It's just like an off-brand cereal mascot. And quite frankly, I think Toucanon pulls it off better. I mean, it's basically the Paldea equivalent of Chatot. The Elvis equivalent of Chatot. Anyway, hi everyone, I'm Sabrina, and you're watching Saffron City TV. Hey everybody! Today, we are going to be making some changes around here. From here on out, if I'm going to be talking about my favorite and least favorite Pokemon, I'm going to change the wording a little bit. So from here on out, the theme will be known as Favorite and Hate It. Now, I'm aware that I run the risk of sounding a little bit hyperbolic by using this type of terminology. And I understand that the word hate is a really strong word. And I most likely do not hate all of the Pokemon under the hate it category. It was just kind of hard to find a negative term that both opposes and rhymes with the word favorite. So I'm doing my best here. Anyway, housekeeping matters out of the way, today we are going to be doing my top 10 favorite and hated Paldea Pokemon. Woo! Yay! I had so much fun playing through Paldea, and I really love most of the Gen 9 Pokemon designs. But there's some stinkers in this house, and we're gonna talk about them. In this list, you may see an entire evolutionary line in one entry, and that is because I like them equally. So I'm gonna quit rambling, and let's get started on the list. Number 10 favorite, Smoliv. I just love this little cutie. Its entire evolutionary line is really cool, and I really like them a lot. I just like Smoliv the best. It's so adorable. I love watching them like hop around in the overworld. Smoliv just makes me jolly, what can I say? Number 10 hated, Roaming Gimmighoul. Okay, so I don't hate every Pokemon on the hated list, and I don't hate Roaming Gimmighoul. I just don't think it looks like a Pokemon at all. It looks like it belongs in a totally different game or like a different cartoon series. I like the little coin ghosty, I just don't think that it makes for a very convincing Pokemon design. I prefer the static Gimmighoul design. Number 9 favorite, Farigiraf. I am so happy that they gave Girafarig an evolution, and they did such a good job with Farigiraf. Its design is so awesome, and I had so much fun using it on my team in Pokemon Violet. I'm also a big fan of Psychic Pokemon, and I can't get over how awesome this one is. I think this Pokemon deserves a lot more recognition, but I'm really glad that Tulip uses one on her team. I'm such a big fan of Farigiraf. Number 9 hated, Rellor and Rabska. Once again, hate is not the word to use here. Maybe unimpressed? I love the concept of a dung beetle Pokemon, and I think Rellor and Rabska pull it off really well. I just don't really understand what's going on with the face here. This isn't a bug, this is a little man in a bug costume. Oh wait, I recognize that guy. That's Joe from the coding department. Yeah. And Rabska is his dad. I just really don't understand the facial hair. Like, are we to believe that female Rellor and Rabska also have beards? If I were a Rellor, I wouldn't want a beard. Not only that, but this bug is always upside down from what I can tell. I'll give Game Freak an A for effort, but C- for execution. But I'll bump up that grade a little bit because I think Rellor's shiny is really cool. Number 8 favorite, Nacli, Knucklestack, and Garganacl. I love this entire evolutionary line. I don't care if they kind of resemble something out of Minecraft. I think it's so cool that these Pokemon are based on salt. I used this evolutionary line in my playthrough of Pokemon Violet, and Garganacl was a major player on the team. These Pokemon are a great example of Game Freak getting creative in a really neat way. I think these Pokemon are so awesome. Number 8 hated, Dunsparce. I think Game Freak was just trolling us with this one. I mean, we've been begging them for a Dunsparce evolution for so long, and so many people came up with some really cool ideas too. But this is what we got. This is what we got. We got the Dunsparce. I mean, and I still don't hate this Pokemon, but I feel like our expectations were subverted in a very Game of Thrones way, if you know what I mean. However, the fact that you can find a 3-segmented Dunsparce is kind of cool. I don't know, I just kind of think Dunsparce deserved better. Number 7 favorite, Tinkaton. I liked this Pokemon the minute I saw it. I like that it kind of looks like a plushie with a hammer. Plus, its fairy steel typing is really cool. This Pokemon was also on my Violet team, and she was quite the heavy hitter. I mean, she helped me beat the game. And its signature move, Gigaton Hammer, is really strong. Thank you, Game Freak, for making a strong pink fairy type Pokemon. I love it and I applaud you. Yes, I applaud. Number 7 hated, Maschiff. This poor doggo. Surely I am not the only one that thinks that this dog looks absolutely miserable. It looks like it has an ear infection or like a toothache. Why does its face look so agonized? This poor pupper looks like it's about to cry at any moment. I hate that they designed it like this. Is every Maschiff born suffering and they just suffer until they evolve? Not even healing it at the Pokemon Center makes this poor doggy feel better. They can heal burns, paralysis, confusion, and even bring Pokemon back from the brink of death. But they can't treat poor Maschiff's ear infection? Where the veterinarians at? I would probably like this poor Pokemon more if it didn't look so tortured. Number 6 favorite, Greavard and Houndstone. Now these doggos are astonishing. Once again, Game Freak being super creative. And these doggos won't bite because they're really friendly. Okay, they can bite. They learn it at like level 6. But they won't bite you. I didn't get to use one on my playthrough of Violet because I already had another ghost type that was already trained up and serving my team, but I would absolutely love to use one in the future. And I love the fact that Rhyme, my favorite gym leader from Scarlet and Violet, uses a Houndstone on her team. And that Pokemon was really difficult to deal with. I just love these pups. I can't wait to use one. Number 6 hated, Capsakid and Scovillain. Is it Capsakid or Capsakid? I don't know. Okay, so we were going in the right direction by making a Pokemon that is based on a pepper that is grass and fire type. Okay, we started off good. Y'all were almost there, Game Freak. I like the creativity, but there was a bit of wasted potential here. I don't know why, Capsakid just looks like a little green rat with a hat on its head. It's the front tooth that does it for me. And these little things are so tiny that I can't even tell you how many times I accidentally ran into one in the overworld and was like, why? Get away, go away. I don't want to fight you. I think Capsakid was supposed to be based on a kappa, which is a creature from Japanese folklore, but if that's what they were going for, I don't buy it. Now, Scovillain is the real issue here. The ugly 2 heads don't bother me. I think they're fine. It's the rest of the body that looks really out of place to me. If they had given it a plant-like body instead of making it bipedal, I think I would have liked this Pokemon a lot more. Are y'all enjoying my list so far? If so, you should like the video. It's the easiest way to show your support. Oh, and also subscribe. Why? Because we have a blast on this channel and you would be joining the snazziest community on YouTube. And that fact is subjectively 100% true. Plus it's free! And my snazzy videos will show up on your feed, which means now you have something funky, fresh, and new to watch. Doesn't that sound appealing? Anyway, back to the list! Number 5 favorite, Fuecoco and Skeledirge. Yeah, you might have noticed that Crocalor wasn't included in the line, and that's mostly because I'm not a huge fan of its outfit? Why is it wearing overalls? Okay, I don't hate Crocolore, but it ain't cool enough to be with the other members of the line. It's the awkward middle stage. Fuecoco is such a cutie, and Skeledirge is a badass. I love that Skeledirge has a little fire birdie that sits on its nose, and is also used in its signature move, Torch Song. That signature move is probably my favorite of all of the starters' signature moves. And if Sprigatito hadn't been amongst the starters in this generation, I would have definitely picked Fuecoco as my starter. These Pokemon are so cool, and the next time I play Pokemon Scarlet, which will be here soon, y'all stick around for that one, I will be picking this evolutionary line as my starters. Number 5, hate it. Wiglett. First things first, I don't think Wiglett and Wugtrio's designs are bad. I think that they're a little too close to Diglett and Dugtrio, and those Pokemon got enough attention with their crappy Alolan forms. I'm sorry, I still don't like the hairstyles. But those factors aside, the reason that I don't like Wiglett is because it has failed me. Yep, I tried to use this Pokemon on my Violet playthrough, and it was just pitiful. This thing couldn't damage a cutie fly if it wanted to. You could literally blink in the direction of this Pokemon and it would just faint. Why did they make you so weak, Wiglett? And on top of that, this Pokemon gave me a hard time when I tried to catch it. It was like playing whack-a-mole. And it took me longer than I anticipated. But once I did catch it, it just couldn't hold up as a team member. I don't know why, but Wiglett let me down one too many times and I had to put the poor thing in the box. Number 4 favorite. Miraidon! Yes, the box art legendary of my version of choice. Miraidon is just such a cool, robotic, mechanical lizard thing. Its color scheme is awesome, moveset is awesome, its design is awesome, and its typing is awesome, and I absolutely love it. And this might be one of my new favorite legendaries. Not only that, but I feel like I've bonded with this Pokemon. When you look at a robot, you don't assume it has feelings or compassion, but this Pokemon absolutely does, and it's so endearing to me. I will share all of my sandwiches with this sweet and lovable creature. And you know what? I think Miraidon would even make for a really great house pet because it's really friendly and it doesn't bite people. Being able to ride a legendary Pokemon is one of the better ideas that Game Freak has had. I loved that feature back in Oris. I really liked it in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, but I think I like it even more now. How could I not include my buddy on this list? Number 4 hated. Normie Palafin. Why does this Pokemon exist? Did we really need this Pokemon to take up deck space? I'm just gonna go ahead and rank myself up to Captain Obvious for a second. This is just Finizen with a heart on its chest. This is the most lackluster quote-unquote evolution that I've ever seen. Oh yeah, that's a good point you make there, Sabrina. Let's talk about its evolution real quick. You first have to level up this Pokemon to level 38, and then you have to level it up again in multiplayer mode. I'm too lazy for that crap. I don't want to go to Union Circle and run around with other people. I just want to evolve my Finizen. And it doesn't even evolve into anything spectacular. Hell, Oinkologne has a better base stat total by about 32 whole points. And even after all that hard work, your precious little Finizen just gets a little heart on its chest. Don't get me wrong, it's sweet, but it's not worthy of an evolution. Why is this a thing? Oh, but we can't talk about this entry without talking about its other form, Hero Palafin. And don't you worry, that one's also on the list, so don't be clicking away and whatnot. Stick around. Hero Palafin is an extremely powerful Pokemon, but you only get that form if you switch Palafin out during battle. And that's usually not ideal. I don't know, I dislike the gimmick, I dislike the lack of change when Finizen evolves, and I dislike the fact that Palafin isn't even that much stronger than its pre-evolution. Number 3 favorite. Sprigatito, Florigato, and Meowscarada. I absolutely had to put my starter of choice on this list. I knew I was going to choose Sprigatito the moment I saw it because I love cats. When I first saw Meowscarada, I really wasn't sure that I was a huge fan of the fact that it was bipedal, but once I used it in battle, I fell in love. This Pokemon is actually really cool, and its design has grown on me tremendously. I also really like its signature move Flower Trick because it lands a crit every single time. That's awesome. And Florigato is also a really nice looking Pokemon. I just love this entire line. What can I say? I had a blast using these Pokemon in Violet, and it's gonna be really hard not to choose Sprigatito again in the future. I love all three of these Pokemon so much. Number 3, hate it. Frigibax. Beaker? Is that you? Seriously, this Pokemon looks like one of Dr. Bunsen's failed experiments. Paldea's pseudo-legendary Baxcalibur is definitely cool. The fact that this Pokemon is based on Godzilla is enough to tell you that it is both fearsome and formidable. So then why does it evolve from a little chilly bean? And when I say chilly, I mean cold, because it's an ice type. I just don't like it. Once again, this does not look like a Pokemon. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. Maybe from a cartoon that's geared towards toddlers? Let's take a look at all of the other pseudo-legendary base evolutions. Dratini, cute worm snack. We love you. Larvitar, Grumpy BB Dino. Bagon, Chompy Dino with big dreams. Gibble, Munchy Big Mouth. Dino, Emo Dino. Goomy, Goopy Goop. Jangmo-o, Shiny Heart Cutie. Dreepy, Zoom Zoom Spooky. And then there's Frigibax, which is a frozen glob of yogurt. I don't know, I just really don't like it. Number 2 favorite, Chi-Yu as a goldfish. When you pair adorable and powerful together, you're sure to get a combination that is bound to make me smile. I love this evil spicy fish. I love its flowy tail, and the beads around its eyes make it look so unique. But it's also familiar, and it reminds me that I need to give Game Freak more props. You can't look at Chi-Yu and tell me that Game Freak is running out of ideas or is lazy. This Pokemon looks like a Pokemon and also like a little golden fishy. It seriously almost made it into my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time. I have a video about that, by the way. If you want to check it out, it'll be in the description below, plus it'll be at the cards at the top. I just adore this Pokemon, and I will probably always love it. Number 2 hate it. Squawkabilly. Why are you here? Hey, look, children! It's the kooky off-brand cereal mascot to remind you to eat a balanced breakfast. Let's get one thing straight. I love birds, okay? And this Pokemon is supposed to be based on a parrot. And Elvis, I think? Maybe Elvis? Okay. So rockabilly is a genre of music that was really popular back in the 50s. The name comes from the term squawk, which is kind of the noise that a bird makes, and the word rockabilly. Well, then how come this Pokemon has literally nothing to do with music? Not its design, not its dex entries, not its cry. It has nothing to do with music. This is not a Pokemon. This is a character from a show that's supposed to teach you your shapes and colors. Speaking of shapes, what is that lumpy black mess on its head? Is that hair? On a bird? Surely not, but if that's supposed to be its crest, then I'm still really confused. On a chicken, the crest is made out of flesh. On a Squawkabilly, the crest is made out of black mold? I just don't understand the point of it. There is so much potential for a Pokemon based on a parrot, and I really feel like it was wasted on Squawkabilly. Number 1 favorite, Ceruledge. This Pokemon has such an awesome design, right? I know I'm not alone on this one. I used a Ceruledge on my Violet team, and it was an absolute boss. I even use them in Terra Raid battles to take on powerful opponents. Ceruledge looks so daunting and noble, and I really love its Dark Knight aesthetic. Game Freak, I know I dog on you sometimes, but you did a really good job with this one. Ceruledge's typing, its moveset, its really cool design, and the fact that this Pokemon dominated my Pokemon Violet playthrough means that Ceruledge is my favorite Paldean Pokemon. Number 1 hated, Hero Palafin. Okay, so you know how like for most of the video I've been saying, oh well, I don't actually hate all of the Pokemon under the hated category, I just can't find a word that rhymes and all of this bullcrap, right? No, I hate this Pokemon. I hate it. This is not a Pokemon, This is a bath toy. This is not a Pokemon. This is a hero character from a children's cartoon. This is not a Pokemon. This is ridiculousness personified. I cannot stand this action figure. This might be one of my least favorite Pokemon of all time. Finizen deserved better. Finizen deserved a real hero. Now look, I understand that Hero Palafin is incredibly strong, and I'm sure that many of you have developed a strong relationship with it from using it on your teams. So on that note, I can't blame you. Your experience is your own experience, and if you really love that Pokemon, I totally respect that, and there's nothing wrong with loving this Pokemon. But Hero Palafin is not my flavor. The fact that this Pokemon doesn't even look anything remotely close to a Pokemon, the fact that it has a really awkward gimmick, and the fact that Finizen didn't get an evolution that I can appreciate means that Hero Palafin is my least favorite Pokemon from Paldea, hands down. And that's my top 10 favorite and hated Pokemon from Paldea. Oh, but don't click away yet. No, I've got more in store for you. Honorable mentions. That's right, it's time for some honorable mentions, yay! These Pokemon almost made the list, so let's give them a quick shout out. Number 3 honorable, Annihilape. This Pokemon is extremely difficult to deal with in battle. I have had more issues with Terra Raid Annihilapes than I have with any other Pokemon in this game, I'm pretty sure. So it's very strong, plus I love the design, and I'm really glad that Game Freak showed a little bit of love to our buddy Primeape, who never gets any recognition, so good for him. Annihilape is really an awesome Pokemon. Number 3 dishonorable, Chien-Pao. This one isn't terrible, and as a matter of fact, I think I would have really liked this Pokemon if it didn't have giant icicle swords jutting out from its top jaw. It just doesn't really look like this Pokemon would be able to function in the real world. I don't really see how this Pokemon would eat, let alone survive like that. If Game Freak changed those goofy teeth, this Pokemon might have actually made it on my top 10 list. Number 2 honorable, Citadel and Cetitan. I love these snowy narwhals. Citadel is such a cutie, and Cetitan is also really awesome. I use a shiny Cetitan all the time in Terra Raid battles, and it's very strong and bulky, and I love it. Number 2 dishonorable is Paldean Tauros. Once again, this Pokemon isn't bad, and I can appreciate the fact that they turned this Pokemon into a black bull, which is culturally significant in Spain, which is what Paldea is based on. I just think that they could have changed it a little bit more because I think it still looks a little too much like original Taurus's design. The water and fire forms look great. I just wish that they would have given a little more flair to the standard fighting type one that you see more often. Other than that, this Pokemon really isn't that bad. And the number 1 honorable mention is Kingambit. I'm so happy that Bisharp got a really awesome evolution. Kingambit is intimidating, powerful, and when you say his name, you put some spec on it. I love that this Pokemon is based on a samurai, and unfortunately I haven't used it yet. But I really would like to use one because I really think that this Pokemon is awesome. And the number 1 dishonorable mention is Spidops. I just don't like the way it looks. It looks very sticky. I tried to use one in the beginning of my Pokemon Violet team, but I just couldn't make it work. Maybe I would like this Pokemon more if I had given myself the opportunity to use it a little bit more, but things just didn't work out. Spidops is really not the worst thing in the world, it's just not my flavor. And that's it! That's my list with some honorable mentions thrown in there for you too. Okay, leave me a comment down below and tell me, what are your favorite Pokemon from Paldea? Which ones do you think are stinkers? Please tell me, I want to know. I love reading y'all's opinions. If you liked this video and you want to see more content like this, the best way to tell me is by liking the video and subscribing to the channel. And just remember, it's totally free. Anyway, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!